Hey guys, so it has been a while to say the least. It's actually been over 4 months since my last Vanguard portfolio update video, which is crazy considering I used to do them on a monthly basis. And that was still my intention, but you know, life got in the way as it does, and as I'm sure you can relate. However, today I thought it was really important to do a video to go through my Vanguard portfolio and provide you guys an update on that. But to also talk about investing in such really weird times. And when I say weird times, I mean the fact that we've got the cost of living crisis going on and it's clearly hitting all of our pockets. None of us are exempt. And also the fact that the stock market is just looking really bleak right about now. And so I thought it was good to speak to those of you who are new to investing and feeling discouraged, but even those of you who aren't new to investing and you kind of like to see somebody else's portfolio to know that you're not alone, then I hope this video will be encouraging to you and helpful to you. Now, before I get into that, I just wanted to touch a little on what I am personally doing during these weird times in terms of investing. So what has changed for me? What do I project will change for me? And yeah, basically what am I doing? So if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that investing has become a lifestyle for me. It's not really one of those things that I feel are foreign anymore. It just feels like a part of what I do. I budget meticulously every month, and so part of the budget every single month is to put some money into investments. So it's what I do now. But what I will say is that because of the cost of things going up, there has been a shift, I would say, in investments. So one of the things that have happened in my household personally is the amount we are investing per month has decreased. So it has gone down. Now that's for 2 reasons. The first reason is because the cost of living crisis and things are more expensive, and our outgoings, our general outgoings have increased on a monthly basis. But also we're doing a home renovation, which is still going on. We are really nearly at the end, but that has taken a shift, taken a priority, I would say, over the past 6 months in our finances. So we've still been able to invest every month, but how much we are investing has definitely gone down in comparison to before. But the positive thing in that, I would say, is because we had set ourselves up to invest a good amount of money every single month, when we had to shift and do the renovation, it was really nice to know that we had some cash to work with every single month to put towards our renovation costs. If I think about to how I was maybe 3-4 years ago, I wouldn't have had extra cash to do something like we're doing right now to our home. It just wouldn't have been possible or feasible because I was literally living and spending everything I earned and not saving or investing anything really. So even though there's been a shift, it's still a blessing. There's still a blessing in it. But yeah, that's what I would say is the major shift. In terms of the upcoming months, we have prepared for the cost of living increase. So if you're not aware, it's projected now that the average energy price in the UK per household will be around £3,300 a year. So I think it's like £260 to £270 a month will be how much it costs to heat your household and have electricity going. And if I look back 2 years ago, we were paying £90 a month for this, to now having to prepare for maybe $250. I'm preparing for $250 to $300 a month. It does obviously have an impact on finances on top of the increased cost of food, the increased cost of fuel, and pretty much everything that you want to buy nowadays. So yeah, with all that being said, let's have a look at my Vanguard portfolio. So as always, I'm going to start with my ISA and take you through what the return has been since inception. So on the Vanguard website, when you look at your investments, you can see there's actually a tab that says Inception. Once you're on performance, I think performance and investments, performance investments, and it says Inception. So you can actually see since you started investing in each fund what has the return been? And that's what I like to see. Since I've been investing, I can also look year on year or month on month, but I just like to see in general because I have an idea of how long I've been investing and I like to know what the return rate has been since then. Okay, so now let's have a chat about my Vanguard portfolio, specifically my Vanguard ISA. So I have the same funds as I have always had. So since February, the only changes that I have made to this portfolio is some of the weighting. So now I've decided to slightly up the weighting for S&P 500. So my goal weight now is 15%. And for the ESG emerging markets, I've decided to decrease that a bit from 10% to 5%. So all of these add up to 100%. But yeah, I've just jiggled that around a bit, increased S&P 500 by 5%, reduced the emerging markets by 5%. But apart from that, everything else is the same. Now, if you're new here, if you're wondering what the goal weight is, there's nothing for you to look up to find this information. And I've had that question so many times. It's literally just something that I formed for myself, depending on how much I want things to be weighted to specific areas. There's no rhyme or reason. I could easily just invest in the VWRL alone, but I don't. I've decided to do it like this. It's how I like to do it, and that's it really. That's the answer to that. Okay, so return since inception. So let's start with the VWRL. So for the VWRL, the return since inception is 0.71%. Now, if you've seen all the rest of my videos, you know that this is lower than it has ever been. I was quite shocked by this, but yeah, it is what it is. At least this one is not in the negative because that's where 50% of our investment funds are, but it's still, you know, historically really, really low in comparison to what it used to be. So for the Pacific ex-Japan, excluding Japan fund, it is 4.36%. So this one is again lower than it has been, but somewhat holding its weight. S&P 500 is 11.65%. This is just always seems to be the front runner. And even though it has gone down a lot, because at some point it was like 26, 27%, it's still a really good return. So I'm quite happy with that one. FTSE 250 is down by negative 24%. Depressing, but are we shocked considering what's going on in our country right now? Probably not. Yeah, this one is just, I will continue to invest in the FTSE 250 because I believe that the UK market has a lot to offer to the world, and I think, you know, over time it will improve, but I will admit that is really discouraging to see that it's down by nearly 25%. ESG emerging markets is still down by negative 10.4, so that's more down than it has been in the past, but this one has never done well for me, so it kind of is what it is. And then lastly, we've got the all world high dividend yield, and that one is at 11.35%. So this one is doing pretty good as well. I expected the VWRL to be in this region, but for some reason it's not. But yeah, that's the return since I've started investing, and now that is maybe 2 and a bit years ago since I started investing. They say that you can expect 8 to 10%, let's say 8%. They say that you can expect 8% average returns year on year. Of course, right now with the way the stock market is, that's not going to be possible, but you know, this is proof that you can be, you know, 2 years is nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it's proof that it's not always going to look the way that you expect it to. So just because people tell you what average returns are, it's not going to necessarily look like that at all times, because the stock market consistently moves. So the total return since inception is a measly 0.62%. So I've not lost money technically. If I was to sell everything today, I would still be in the green. I would have still made a bit of money, but barely anything. You can see in the other months what my return rates had been since inception. So much, much higher. And this is absolutely the lowest that it has ever been. But again, that is the nature of the game. Now with dividends, it's a bit better. So VWRL is 3.94%, and that's because dividends just mean you get paid out for investing in specific stocks. For the Pacific, it's the same. There's no difference between the capital return and the gross return. So that one will always be the same because the dividends are automatically reinvested. The S&P 500, 14%. So again, that's a bit more positive. FTSE 250, negative 19%. So that's a bit better than negative 24. And then the ESG, again, these dividends get reinvested, so there'll be no difference there. And then for the VHYL, it's 19.16. So that's actually quite a bit better. So the VHYL, I'm close to 20% return, which is on average about 10% each year. So that one I'm quite happy with. So my total return since inception with dividends is 2.35%. Now with my pension, this has gone up quite a bit since you last seen it. So I think last time you would have seen my pension, it would have been around the £16,000 mark. Now it's £25,000, and that's because at long last, Vanguard did finally process the transfer that I was trying to do. So I do a yearly transfer from my employer pension to my Vanguard pension or my Vanguard SIPP, just so I have a bit more control over what my investments are in, but also because it's cheaper with Vanguard than it is with my personal pension. But I can only do this transfer once a year. So yeah, that was done, I think in May it finished. So it was meant to be in March, but it was about 2 months delayed. After lots of back and forth with Vanguard, may I add. So let's just have a look quickly at my investments. So you can see that I am, again, still invested completely in the 2050 accumulation fund, the target retirement fund, and the total cost of the units I have are £24,907, but my current value is £25,009. So that's with a positive change of £102.20. This is, again, historically much lower than it has been. But yeah, you can see here where it went through in April, end of April. So at that point, it was £180 per unit when the transfer happened. But you can see since then it's gone down quite a bit. So currently it's £174, but the average unit cost that I have, based on when I've invested both times, had the lump sums come in both times, is £173.58 in comparison to what the current average unit cost is, which is £174.29. So yeah, that's it with my Vanguard pension. I will do another transfer next year around that March-April time. I'm hoping I'll have around 10,000 plus more to put into my pension. It's slowly but surely getting there. Yeah, I wish it was a bit bigger, but I didn't really start contributing to my pension until late. I spoke about this before. I was in education for years, so I didn't really start contributing until I was 25, I think. 25, 26 to my pension, and I'm now 29. So it's not bad going for 4-ish years, but yeah, I need to keep going. I currently contribute 10% to my pension, so I upped it. So I contribute 10%, my employer contributes 10%, so 20% going into my pension every month is quite a bit. I'm happy with that. But yeah, that is it really. Thank you so much for joining me today. I do apologise, it's taken me months to get around to this Vanguard video, but I hope it's been encouraging to you and helpful to you. Please do write me some comments down below in terms of any questions you may have about Vanguard and what I'm doing, but also any video ideas of things you want to see from me. I'm open to it because I don't want to just create videos that people don't want to see. It's not fun for me and it's not fun for you. So if you have any ideas, do let me know. But until next time, take care and bye for now.